Hello lovely, my name's Frankie and I'm a hairdresser, and in today's video we're going to chat about the things that you can do to make sure that you get the most out of your hairdressing appointment. Let's jump straight in. So most importantly is having a clear idea of what you want. Do you just want a trim or a restyle? Did you want to add a fringe or bangs? Did you want to stay the same colour as usual or go different with the tone? Do you want an all over colour? Do you want highlights? Do you want balayage? The list is endless, and the best way for you to educate yourself on what you want so you have a good understanding of what you want is to get online and see people that have similar hair to you. We'll come back to that, but people that have similar hair texture to you, what they're doing with your hair that you like and what they're doing with their hair that you don't like. Things to take into consideration when you're looking at different styles, different colours, anything that you want to change is how your lifestyle can affect that. If you're going to have a short style that's going to need a lot of styling, have you got the time to style your hair? If you're going to need a colour that needs a lot of attention, lots of toners, have you got the time to go in and have toners or apply toners yourself at home? Have a look at your lifestyle and how your lifestyle could affect your hair choice. When you have a clear idea of what you want, sit on those ideas for a while and definitely turn to family and friends, the people closest to you, and ask their opinion. Do they think that this style would suit you? Do they think that the colour would suit you? What are their thoughts? And usually you'll get a good understanding from the people that know you and look at you really often, and they'll be able to tell you if they think it will suit you or not and give you more of an idea of what you want and what you think will suit you when it comes to sitting in a chair with your hairdresser. Next up, we're going to talk about honesty, being honest with yourself and being honest with your hairdresser when you're sat in the chair, because getting your point across and your clear idea that you've just come up with is really important so that you both are on the same page and you have the same understanding of what you want and what you don't want. So where does honesty come into that? And I know a lot of hairdressers, and I've done this myself. When people show me things that they like and things that they don't like, I will then make suggestions and say, well, if you don't like that and you don't like this, but you love this, let's go for something a little bit like this and leave out that. And sometimes that still doesn't feel right to the client. And this is where we need you to be honest, rather than agreeing and think, maybe Frankie knows what she's doing on this one, I'll give her a chance, because then you ultimately might not be happy. It's better for you to put your foot down and say, no, that still doesn't sound right to me, Frankie. I really appreciate your suggestions, but I'm still not sure that that's right. Can we have another chat about this, and this, and then maybe you'll be in a better understanding. The thing with honesty is that you have to be honest, you have to say no and really get your point across if you want your hairdresser to understand what you want. We aren't mind readers, unfortunately. Sometimes I really wish I was, and I do get it right when people don't have an idea of what they want, but sadly, people still get it wrong, and I've got it wrong when people just can't communicate what they want properly. So being honest in your communication is really important. So you've got that clear idea of what you want, and you're honestly telling your hairdresser how you want it. And it doesn't offend me at all. I don't know about other hairdressers, but I would much rather know exactly what you don't like than try and make an idea of what you do like. A part of honesty as well is being honest with yourself. And now I think a lot of hairdressers can relate to this, because I get this quite a lot, where people will send me pictures of things that they absolutely love, and they are gorgeous hairstyles, but sadly their hair is nothing like the woman or man in the picture. And that's quite difficult, because it's hard to tell people that I can't achieve that on your hair because your hair is a lot thicker or a lot longer or a lot shorter or a lot finer. It's hard to break it down for people, because I think people just see hair as an object and something that you can make it look. Everyone could make their hair look the same, but actually it's completely different. Everyone's hair is completely different. So the example that I would give you now is when you're searching for styles, include some things about your hair texture, your hair density, your hair length, and your natural hair color, not the color that you want it to be. So for example, I have really long dark brown hair naturally. This has got a gloss on it at the moment, but it's pretty close to my natural color. Say for example, I wanted an ashy balayage. I would search on Pinterest or Google, long dark brown hair with an ashy balayage, rather than just looking for an ashy balayage. So I would maybe include that my hair was quite thick, that my hair was naturally curly, and just look at pictures and think, actually, that person's hair looks really similar to mine when my hair's in its natural state. It's looking around the same density, the natural color is around the same, the balayage is what I want. So maybe look for pictures like that, rather than looking for pictures that are just unachievable. And that's where you need to be honest with yourself. So if you have short hair and you bring me a picture of a woman with long hair that has a balayage and you say you want your hair to look like this, it's not going to happen without extensions, which is another option to explore with your hairdresser. There's always answers, and I can always suggest things, and other hairdressers will always suggest things as well, I hope, but you can't always get somewhere in one sitting. You can't always grow your hair 3 inches in a week. It's just not, some things just aren't possible. It's not possible to get your hair from black to platinum blonde in one sitting. And I will always be honest with my clients when it comes to situations like that. Yes, there can be an end goal. You ultimately want your hair to be platinum blonde, but at the moment your hair is black. So it's not going to be platinum blonde after this 3-hour service. Honesty is really important when you're sat in the chair and you're talking to your hairdresser. If you aren't honest, then your hairdresser isn't going to get a good understanding of what you want, and they might not get it right, and then you're left unhappy. So being honest is just going to help you build a relationship with your stylist, with your color technician, and it's just going to build loyalty, build trust, and everything's just going to go onwards and upwards from there. Which leads me on to my next one, which I've touched on slightly in honesty, but it's being realistic. But realism, let's be real. Let's break it down. If you have really fine hair, your hair is never going to look like the girl in the picture with really thick hair. If your hair is naturally really curly and the girl in the picture has straight hair, the color isn't going to look the same. The cut isn't going to look the same unless you're going to curl your hair every day like the girl with the curly hair, or straighten it every day like the girl with the straight hair. It's not going to work for you, which again leads me to a point that I've mentioned in both Clear Idea and in Honesty, is searching for pictures or inspiration on what you want, someone that has similar hair to you. It's so important because I'm not a miracle worker. I can't make your hair thicker. I can't make your hair thinner. I can't make it longer. Yes, I can cut it. I can make it shorter. I can change so many elements and I can make it amazing and almost exactly how you want it. But if you bring in pictures that aren't anything like your hair texture, your hair density, your natural state, your natural wave, anything like that, it's unrealistic that your hair's gonna look anything like that. It will just look different. So I've done this a couple of times with my clients where they'll send me pictures and they'll say, I really like these things about these pictures, but I'm worried what it will look like on me. And I'll just be like, wait a second, we need to have a chat. Because please don't think I'm being rude, but that person's hair is a lot longer than yours and it's a lot thicker than yours. And then what I do in my spare time is I go online and I know what my client's hair looks like. I will search whatever it was that she has and send pictures like, it's probably gonna look more like this. And she's like, oh, okay, that's fine. Yeah, totally. I really get like where you're going with this, and it's really nice to see what it would look like on someone's hair that's more like mine. I think the problem with people posting pictures online all the time of all of this gorgeous hair, it looks really fantastic, is that it's not always realistic. We don't all have really thick, beautiful long hair, and the pictures that you see online are usually the girls with the really thick, beautiful long hair. And there's so many people in between that. So being realistic is so important. I've said it again. Let's do a chart. It's probably like 10,000 times now. Being realistic is just what you're gonna have to do. It might hurt a little bit. It might, I don't know, put you off what you originally wanted, but it is important for you to be realistic so that you're not unimpressed or disappointed with the end result when your hair doesn't look thicker or longer than you went when you sat down in the chair. So another part of being realistic is if your hairdresser has then said to you, it's unachievable, I'm really sorry, your hair's not the same density, it's not the same natural color, it's never gonna look like that, but we can make it look like this. There's always room for suggestions and advice, and you can always ask your hairdresser for advice. And this is why I push you all into booking consultations, because I try and do consultations online now, but in person I used to do them a lot with nearly all of my clients, where I just I'm a mobile hairdresser, so I would just pop over to their house and sit with them for 15 minutes and just have a look at their hair, have a feel of how their hair is, what I think their hair could take in terms of colour, what I think would look better in terms of cut. And I just give a load of advice and a load of suggestions, and we come to some sort of understanding. I spent a good hour yesterday talking to a lady about her hair, and we have come to a great understanding, because she's a really nervous client and she's really worried about having her hair done. She's had some really bad experiences, and I completely get that. We've all had bad experiences with hairdressers. I think you'd be lying if you said you hadn't had a bad experience. And that's fine, and I totally get her journey, her hair journey, and I want to make sure that I get it completely right. So I have given her loads of advice. Originally what she wanted is not what we are going for, because I personally just don't think her hair is going to be able to handle going any lighter or any darker, for example. So we have come to an understanding, and I've been honest, and I've given my advice, and I've suggested, and we have been real. We have used everything that I'm talking about in this video today, which is why I'm filming it, because it really, all of those things I said to her yesterday when I was talking to her, and I was thinking, I think other people need to hear this, because she had no idea that the ways that other pictures might affect how you look at people's hair and think, actually my hair could look like that, when actually it just couldn't. And yeah, we had a massive chat about it, and that's why I'm telling you guys about it today. Okay, so let's recap. The first thing that we went through was having a clear idea of what you want. So do lots of research, search the cut or colour that you want with your hair texture, your hair density, how you usually wear your hair on an everyday basis. I personally like to have a few options. If you have a few different options of different things, and then I can kind of get a good understanding of what it is that you like between each picture. That's just how I work, but not all hairdressers do. Secondly, we have honesty. Be honest with yourself and be honest with your hairdresser. Sit in the chair, get your point across, listen to what your hairdresser has to say, and put your foot down if it doesn't sound right. Thirdly, we had realistic, which has tied together in this whole sort of chat. Be realistic with yourself. It's so important that you understand that your hair is never going to look like X, Y, and Z, or your hair is going to look better than X, Y, and Z. It's possible, but just really try and focus on what you have and your strengths, and how you can make your hair goals with what you have already. And lastly, always ask for advice and suggestions. I personally love having a really good chat with my clients, getting to know them, getting to know what they've liked in the past, what they haven't liked in the past. I want to know about your disasters. I want to know about times where you cried when you left the salon, because I don't want that to happen. So I want to avoid that. There's so much that you can do to make sure that you are fully prepared for when you get in that chair and you have everything sussed, everything planned. You've maybe had a consultation before with your hairdresser, and you're just going, and she's going to crack on with it, or they're going to crack on with it. So yeah, I've probably rambled off a bit in this video, but I thought it was really important that I brought it to you guys. I know that salons are opening soon. You might have booked in with your favorite hairdresser. You might have booked in with somebody new, but have a good chat with them. A lot of hairdressers are on Instagram now. If you've booked an appointment in a salon, you could always call up the salon and say, I was just wondering if Frankie has a hairdressing Instagram account. I would really like to chat to her prior to my appointment. And they might be like, yeah, sure, it's this. And you can have a really good chat with that person and make sure that you are fully on the same page for what you want. Don't ever feel rushed in an appointment. Your appointment is for you. Your hairdresser is there to give you everything that you want. That's how I work. I'm not sure how other people work. I will spend hours, if I have to, trying to get it right, getting it right. I would rather spend hours doing that than a few minutes on getting it completely wrong. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to get everything that you can ready before your appointment, so you go there with a really strong idea of what you want and what you don't want. And yeah, enjoy it. And I love you so much, and I will see you next week. Bye.